Hi guys, it's Kyra and Jessie from Plaid, and we are here today to show you and talk all about paint pouring. So we've gone a little pour crazy here in the studio, and we have poured on so many different surfaces. It's such a huge trend right now, and we want to show you just a couple easy tips and tricks that'll make it really easy whether you've never poured before or you've been dabbling in pouring. And we just want to show you some things that we do here when we're making projects, and also introduce a brand new product to you. So again, you can pour on so many different surfaces. You can pour on canvas, you can pour on letters. Here we have a paper mache letter. We have these wood sayings that are really great. So if you're doing like a gallery wall or for a birthday or an event, these are really great because you can coordinate your colors.
Yes, super cute.
And also we've poured on rocks. So rocks are still trending. It is a huge thing people are doing. They're painting on them, decoupaging them. And we've poured right on these rocks, and then go ahead and seal it with a coat of Mod Podge, and you can stick these right outdoor, which are great. So again, wood shapes, these are great. This is a unicorn, so this is a great pour. These colors are so pretty.
Yeah.
So I was mentioning the product that we have. So we have apple barrel pouring medium. So this is, it turns any acrylic paint into a pouring paint.
Yep.
So this is a 16 ounce. It works great with any of our acrylic paints.
Yep.
We're gonna use apple barrel today, and we've got these great 8 ounce size bottles here today because you do use a lot of paint.
Yes, definitely. Use more paint than you normally would. So.
Right. So, Jessie, do you want to explain about the pouring medium, like why this makes it different from just pouring paint on your surface?
Sure. If you were just going to pour paint directly on your surface, it would probably be too thick and the colors might bleed into each other and get muddy. So what the pouring medium does is it thins the paint a little bit so that it flows really nicely, and it also keeps the paints from mixing. So when we start pouring, you'll see they kind of butt up against each other, but they won't get muddy, and that's because of the pouring medium.
Yep, so we'll walk you through how exactly to use this with your acrylic paint. And again, we're using our apple barrel paint today. You can use it with folk art, any of acrylic paints. And then we're gonna show you exactly what you need. So these are the things that we use, Jessie and them use in the craft room to pour. So really simple, easy to have on hand, inexpensive things to get started.
Yeah. So first of all, you're gonna wanna protect your workspace. So we have some just paper down here today so that we don't get paint on our table because it does get a little bit messy. We also have this metal tin to catch the extra paint. You can get these at the dollar store and you can reuse them over and over if you're gonna be pouring. So it's just nice to have something that you can throw away when you need to because we are gonna get a lot of paint in it.
Just like an aluminum baking pan.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Super cheap.
It's like a casserole pan. Then we have our canvases. It's like here said, this is the surface we're gonna be pouring on. You will need some cups to pour your paint into.
Is there any specific size, or the bigger the canvas, probably the larger the cup size you would need?
Yeah, if we were doing some sort of great big canvas, you'd want to have larger cups for sure because you're gonna be pouring more paint. So you don't have to pour it on and then mix more paint as you're going because you want to keep it nice and wet so it all flows together.
Okay.
So today we're doing small canvases, so we have small cups. Yep. And then you're gonna need some sticks to mix the paint with.
Just craft sticks, popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
You can use plastic spoons even if you have them.
Absolutely, anything like that. Then we have gloves too because it will probably get on your hands while you're trying to swirl it around and make that beautiful marbled effect.
These are really fun. I get to wear these. It's kind of funny. Dr. Kyra.
And then a little tip too, since we're pouring on canvases today, is you're gonna want something to elevate your surface. So if we were pouring on like a vase or something like that, I might put one of these cups upside down and sit my surface on that so that the paint can run off of it without it getting stuck to the bottom of the pan. But since we're doing canvases today, we have put some thumbtacks onto the bottom. So this will keep the thumbtacks from, this will keep the canvas from touching the bottom of the pan, and so when it dries, it won't be stuck. You can just pull the thumbtacks out and the paint will drip off.
So you just literally took the thumbtack and stuck it right into the wood of the canvas.
Yeah, so it makes kind of little legs so that it has room for the paint to pour off.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started. And like I said, we're gonna show you 2 different types of pours. I'm gonna get some of this stuff out of the way. So the 2 types of pours are, there's a dirty pour and a direct pour that we're gonna show you. So these are kind of the 2 basic pours. There's a lot of fun things we've done also with pouring through a strainer and some different things, but we're just gonna get down and dirty to the basics today.
Yeah, just the basics of pouring and creating marble effects.
So we're starting with our just disposable pan. You could even use a cardboard box or anything like that.
Even you could probably just, if you weren't doing a big item, you could just pour it right on top of the paper because it wouldn't be a ton of overflow. But if you're doing something big, you wanna make sure you collect the paint.
Awesome. Okay, and then so we have got our canvas we're gonna show you. Again, you can pour on so many different surfaces, but we're just gonna show you a canvas today.
Yep.
We stuck our tacks in there.
Okay.
Is that kind of, there we go.
Yeah, perfect. See how it's kind of, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of risen off of the surface. So that way when it dries, we can just leave it there. and then pull it off and it won't be stuck.
I'm gonna stick this over while we mix our paints. Yeah.
So you're gonna wanna grab your cup and then grab your paint. You wanna hand me one of those colors, Kyra?
Yeah.
Need purple,
Yeah. Do purple and pink. So Jessie, tell them about the colors. Like, what's a really great way to select your color of paint? Because you can see we've got some really beautiful combos here. And like, what's a good tip or trick on how to pick your colors? I mean, I know you want to coordinate or you have your favorite colors, but are there certain colors that work together better with others?
So it's a good idea is to kind of pick colors that are in the same family. That's kind of like a really like easy cheat to make sure that none of your colors will ever blend together and get muddy, especially if it's your first time pouring. So you want to stick with like all warm colors or all cool colors, something like that. If you are going to do colors that are opposite, a good idea is to also include white. You can see this one here. We've got green, we've got pink, which normally if they were to blend together, it might not be so pretty. And then we've got the white in between, so that really helps with that. And I also wouldn't go more than 5 colors max, I would say.
Okay, that's a good tip too,
you don't want to do too many colors.
Like 3 to 5.
3 to 5, yeah. We usually do 3.
And white and black is always safe.
Yes, white and black is always safe because if it blends with the other colors, it'll still be really pretty.
And I will say, we're not going to use black today in pouring, but black a little bit goes a long way when you're pouring with black.
That is true.
Like you put a tiny bit in and it can really take over your project, so just be careful. You can always add.
Yeah, black is very intense when you're pouring, so that's a really good tip.
Okay, so if you want to show, so we are using our apple barrel pouring medium. Again, this comes in a 16 ounce. And what is the ratio, and is there anything that you need to do to prep, or you just pour right in?
Yeah, well I think the recommended ratio I believe is 1-to-1, so 1 part paint and 1 part medium. But I think that it's sort of situational. It depends on the paint. So it generally is 1-to-1, but for each color, you're just gonna want to make sure they're all the same consistency. And if they're a little thin or a little thick, as long as they're all the same consistency, whether it be thick or thin, that's what's important. You don't want some thinner and some thicker when you're pouring them together.
And does it matter, do you put your paint in first in the cup, or do you put your pouring medium?
I think it'd probably be easier if you put the paint first, just because it's thicker, so it's easier to mix the thin into the thick, as opposed to vice versa.
So you kind of want to get equal amounts of paint in all your cups. Maybe set them up and then go back and pour your pouring medium. Okay, so again, we are using apple barrel acrylic paint today with our apple barrel pouring medium. And this is so great. This pouring medium allows you to use any of your acrylic paints. So whether you're using folk art or apple barrel, you can use any of that. You can mix in metallics, glitters, any of that.
Oh, absolutely. I love adding glitter on top of pours. It kind of gives it a geode looking effect.
Yeah.
I think it's really pretty. And you can see I'm already getting messy, so I'm glad I'm wearing these
and
gloves.
I'm gonna have to pop this open here.
I'm gonna do some white too.
Yep, so I have the big guy of the white over there.
We always use lots of white when we're pouring, so we always keep lots of white paint on hand.
And that is great. You know, apple barrel comes in so many different sizes, so if you're doing a smaller, do the 2 ounce. The 8 ounce is really great for this pouring though. That's a 16 ounce of the white. All right, here we go. And I'm glad you poured white, because even though the pouring medium looks white, you still need white paint. Your pouring medium isn't gonna come out white.
No, it'll always dry clear.
It's gonna blend into the paint. It's not gonna change the color of your paint also, which is important.
Right.
So if you mix this pouring medium with this purple, your purple's not gonna get lighter.
No, it's not. So even if it does look lighter when you're stirring it, it'll still dry the same purple.
Okay, do you want one more color? With the 3.
Yeah, let's start with the 3, just for a basic one.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab the pouring medium from you. Yep. So we've got our 3 colors.
And we're just gonna get messy, guys. That's what it's all about. That's the fun part.
It is super messy, and that is what's so fun about it. And it's kind of like, you can't control it as much, so it's fun just to kind of be loose and pour the paints and kind of see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pour a little bit of the medium in there.
Just kind of eyeballing it.
I am eyeballing it, so I can kind of see that it's about the same amount of pink that I poured in. So I kind of just check as I go to make sure that I'm gonna start pouring. You see how the pink is starting to mix in there? One tip for sure is that you don't want to stir this really hard, because you don't want to stir bubbles into your paint. Okay. Because when you pour that out, those bubbles might be on your piece, and we don't want that.
So no reason to shake the pouring medium or the paint?
Yeah, I wouldn't shake it. No, don't shake the paint. My habit is when I have a bottle of paint in my hand, I just shake it. It's just kind of a habit. But for pouring, it's better if you don't do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the purple.
Yeah.
So again, I'm pouring the apple barrel pouring medium right out of the bottle, right into our apple barrel paint. And you want to go about 1-to-1. And I think, again, like you mentioned, as you work with this, you kind of get a feel for what works.
Definitely, you definitely do.
You just want to start stirring, and it looks white, like, oh no, I've ruined my purple paint, but once you stir it, you want it to be thoroughly
See how mine
stirred.
is pink?
Yes.
It started out kind of light, and it looked like the white wasn't gonna mix out, but it does. I'm gonna go ahead and do our white. And that's another thing too, is that since you can't see if you've mixed all of the pouring medium thoroughly into white, you just want to be really patient and just make sure you've mixed it for a while.
Take your time.
Yep, so it doesn't separate.
Got a lot of purple here.
Yeah, a lot of purple. That's okay.
All right. Okay. So you can just reuse these or some to the side or toss them.
Yeah. You can rinse them off if you're going to keep doing pouring projects and save them for another pour.
Okay, and our canvas, it's just a regular canvas. You don't need to prep it or do anything to it.
Nope. You
We're
can
just
always
gonna pour
like
right on
paint
there.
it a solid color if you wanted to, if you wanted some of the canvas to show through, but today we're going to pour over the whole thing, so that doesn't really matter.
And we are doing a direct pour.
Yep.
So direct pour means we're starting out with our individual cups of our paint and our pouring medium mixed.
Yep. They're each mixed separately.
Okay. And we're gonna pour directly onto the canvas.
Yeah.
So you get more control.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do have a lot more control for this one. And you'll see it's a little more clean than the next one that we're gonna do.
Okay, here's the magic. This is the fun part.
All right, so this is kind of, I like to start with white actually. Will you hand me that?
Okay, so
Sarah.
you start with white.
I start with white and then I can pour the colors in. I feel like I have a little more control that way. So you start by pouring the paint right on.
And you even started off of the canvas a little bit to kind of get the flow
I did,
going.
yeah. I mean, you can start right on it, but sometimes you get clumps, you see, which
Got it.
isn't terrible, but I just usually start off. And you want to make sure all of it gets onto the canvas. We don't want to waste any paint, of course. So I just kind of put it in a random pattern because we're going to swirl it around anyway. I just like it to be nice and random. You don't really want to do stripes or zigzags, so it's going to be hard to get that random marbled effect after. So next I'm going to pour some of my pink on, and you can pour as much or as little as you like, depending on how much of that color you want. So again, I'm just kind of doing it randomly.
Yeah, it already looks pretty like that.
Do you want to pour the purple?
Yeah, I totally want to pour the purple. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Woo!
That's pretty.
You think that's enough? So do you
Yeah, I
want to
think that's great.
completely cover the entire canvas, or is it okay
It's okay
that
if you
there's
leave gaps? If you can't see on the film, there's a little bit of gaps where the canvas is showing, and that's totally fine.
Okay.
So the next step, this is why we have the gloves on, is you're going to pick up your piece by its edges, and you're going to swirl it around.
That looks really great.
And you can see how it's already starting to create that marbled effect. And swirl it to the edges, make sure that all of your edges are covered. You can see my hands are getting filled with paint, which is fine because I have gloves on. And you kind of just keep doing this until you have a pattern that you like. You don't want to overdo it because it can start to get muddy the more you twist it around. So once you find a pattern that you like, which I like that one, you just kind of want to quit while you're ahead. And there you go.
So then you're done. Then you would just let this dry.
Yep,
and
I would leave this in here for it to dry and let the excess paint drip off. And then tomorrow this will be totally dry and you can pull it right out.
That's great. And because it's on the tacks, it's going to be elevated and not stick to your pan.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, so that is a direct pour with apple barrel and apple barrel pouring medium. And we are going to, we're going to go and show you a dirty pour.
Yeah. So you will want to have a pan. If you're doing a project that takes up the whole pan, you're going to want to have a pan for each project. If we were doing little things, we could fit it, but.
Yeah, and then we have just another canvas. It's like a cute little canvas here.
Yeah, this is a really cute shaped canvas, which is really fun for this sort of project.
And then I'm just going to stick the thumbtacks in.
Yeah.
Again, you can stick them right into the corners of the canvas, and it's not going to hurt your project.
Nope, not at all. And the wood on canvas is usually really soft, so you don't need a hammer or anything. It usually will just press right in.
Pop those in there.
Yep.
Put one on each corner here just so it's stable.
Yeah, so it doesn't rock around.
Yep, there we go. So we got our canvas ready.
So for this one, we're going to start the same way by mixing our paints with the pouring medium, each color that we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and grab 3 cups again. And maybe we'll do...
Yeah, what colors do you want?
Let's do light blue.
Okay, we got light blue.
Maybe that turquoise color. So we're using pool blue. Oh, it is called turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise.
And then, yeah, dark blue.
Dark
Let's
blue?
do that.
Okay, so kind of like a monochromatic.
Yeah. This is the dirty pour. This is the one where I was talking about how it's better if you pick colors in the same family. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my turquoise.
And so a dirty pour means you pour all your paints in, you mix your apple barrel pouring medium, and then you mix your paints together, you layer it.
Right. You're gonna pour them all out of the same cup. So you'll see what we mean in a second. Whereas before we poured each color separately. Why don't we can do white. You wanna do white?
Yeah, we can do white.
Oh, here's white.
You have the white.
So we're gonna do some white, and like I said before, white always kind of brightens up a piece. So we're gonna pour our pouring medium into it.
I'll assist you here.
Thanks, Kyra.
So we're doing 1-to-1 with our apple barrel paint, our apple barrel pouring medium.
Yep.
You can really just eyeball that.
You can eyeball it, and you know if you feel like it's too thin, add a little more paint. If you feel like it's too thick, add a little more medium.
There you go. And that's
so
just right out of the bottle.
Slow and steady. And again, we're just mixing it pretty gently so that we don't have any air bubbles in it.
Yeah, the white is kind of tricky.
Yeah, it is kind of tricky. You just have to kind of hope that it's all mixed. You can see a little bit because the medium is a slightly off white, so if you're using a bright white, you can kind of see the difference.
Yep. And the pouring medium is not going to change the color of your paint, which is really great. So it's going to keep those colors really vibrant.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll need your cups that you're mixing your pouring medium and your paint in, and then you will need another cup, basically an additional cup, to mix your pouring medium and your paint in.
We're gonna pour all these paints together, so you'll see what we do in just a sec.
There we go. There's that pretty blue.
There, perfect.
All right.
Okay, so this is gonna seem kind of crazy, but it's gonna make a really cool effect. So we've got our cool shaped canvas here. So I have my cup. I'm gonna pour each paint into the cup. So I'm gonna do a little bit of blue.
And remember how you're layering, so the last color you put in is the first color that's gonna go down on the canvas.
Exactly. And I like to do white in between when I'm doing the dirty
pour. Get it overhead here.
Oh, sorry.
There you go, yeah.
And then do some blue, and they're mixing in the cup a little, but you'll see when they come out, it'll be really pretty. And then I'll do a little more white.
And you just can keep layering.
Just keep layering. You could do a lot of colors with this, but again, you know, they could get muddy, so that's why I like to stick in the same color family. But I mean, just go for it, you know, see what works for you. Some people will take a stick and kind of stir it right now, just like a quick little like, whoop, like nothing crazy, like don't stir it together.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it so you can see.
Oh wow, that's really pretty. So it is different. The colors blend a little bit more.
Right, the colors blend a lot more in my opinion. So we're still gonna do this, and they kind of reveal colors as they go because they were all layered in the cup. So see how all the different colors are coming out?
Looks like the ocean.
Right, isn't that cool?
It's really
Look at
pretty.
that neat
It's more
pattern.
subtle. It's more organic.
It is more subtle.
It's different than the direct pour.
Right, it's definitely less controllable, but it's just a different look to it at the end.
And you could go back in and pour on top of that even.
You could, yeah, definitely.
So say you wanted more of that blue or more white, you could go back in. You could even just direct pour right on top of this.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to add a little more white,
yeah,
it's really pretty.
Isn't that cool? So that's what people call a dirty pour.
Yeah, that's great.
There you go.
Beautiful. Again, and then you just let that dry.
Just let that dry overnight.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jessie, for showing us how to use our apple barrel pouring medium. We talked about our direct pour and our dirty pour. This makes it really simple. You can mix it with any of your acrylic paints, and we showed how to use our apple barrel paints with our apple barrel pouring medium. So for more inspiration and projects, go to plaidonline.com so you can see all our pouring projects and get more information. And don't forget to hashtag your projects and your pouring projects with hashtag plaidcrafts and hashtag apple barrel. And we can't wait to see what you make. So happy crafting.
Bye.